Thank you, Mr. Chairman and witnesses. I appreciate it today. I'm going to jump right in. Mr. Grunberg, I'd like to start with you. Appreciate the cooperation so far, but I will note that anything you can do to speed up the production of the requested material from the chairman and myself would be much appreciated. I do want to dig into the bid process that the FDIC uses when they've taken a bank into receivership and look to sell it. In a recent Bloomberg article, Director McKernan has quoted as saying that, quote, the FDIC is hindering the ability of non-banks to participate in these auctions, close quote, because they are not given the same terms as bank bidders with respect to a loss share arrangements and deal financing. And I'd like to submit that for the record, Mr. Chairman, that article. Without objection, I assume, Mr. Chairman?
Without objection.
Thank you. Is Director McKernan wrong when he says that non-bank participation is, quote, really in name only?
We've made a considerable effort for all of 3 of the failed institutions.
So you believe he's wrong?
May I just answer to say that I think we've made a significant effort to invite both bank and non-bank interested parties to participate in the bidding process.
All right.
And they have.
All right. Mr. Vice Chair, Chair Barr, last week your colleagues, one of your colleagues, Governor Bowman, called for a third-party review of the actions of the Fed in connection with Silicon Valley Bank's failure. Will you commit to facilitating a third-party review of the Fed's actions?
I thought it was important for us to start with a self-assessment.
Sure. Yep.
Obviously, the
Moving
Congress,
on, no.
Congress is looking at these issues. The Inspector
Correct.
General is looking at these issues. The GAO is looking at these issues.
So do we count as a third party?
I don't know what Governor Bowman meant by that, but to me, you're not part of the Federal Reserve.
So do you believe there needs to be a third-party independent review outside of the congressional review and your own internal review?
I think there are such reviews going on already.
All right. Well, will you commit to providing the committee with full access to documents and employees needed to conduct our own assessment?
We have been cooperating with your staff on that and will continue to do so.
I think I will echo what I told Mr. Greenberg. Anything you can do to speed that up would be much appreciated. As the chair had quoted about this culture shift, he had noted that you had included that prominently in your report. Did you hear about these, quote, culture shift concerns prior to conducting your internal review, or was that news to you until the review?
I had heard similar reports before the staff conducted this review.
Okay. So GAO testified before my Oversight subcommittee last week about their own review of the bank failures, and in response to a question, the GAO witness stated that, quote, no such culture shift was raised in their own interviews with Fed staff. So why are you keeping it a secret? I mean, if it's that big of a concern, why is it a secret that you're not telling the GAO about this? And in fact, the GAO's testimony confirmed that a slow escalation of supervisory concerns has been noted in their reports since 1991. 1991, not 2155. 1991. So here's what I would like to ask you. You said there was about 20 individuals that were interviewed for your internal report. Will you provide the committee with a list of those employees who you interviewed for the report?
The 20 I was mentioning in my testimony are the people who are conducting the review.
Okay.
20 staff.
So how many interviews were done for that report?
But I'd happy to continue to work with your staff and have our staff work with them on all the requests that you've made. That's
okay. So
part of our ongoing
is that a yes? You will
cooperation
commit to allowing us to identify the staff and then allowing us to speak to them?
I think that there are some trade-offs involved in that I'd like our staff to discuss with your staff.
What
first.
in the world trade-offs of what? If we're supposed to be doing, you're telling me that you're not sure whether there should be an independent third-party review, that we aren't part of the Fed, so we should be doing a review. We're trying to do the review, but you're telling us we may not be able to talk to the people that might actually have the information that would be helpful to the review.
You're as a chair of the subcommittee, you're of course welcome in the end to decide who you want to talk to and get cooperation from them.
We're getting closer. Okay.
I'm just pointing out that there's a trade-off in terms of making sure that in the future when we do reviews, We have staff who are.
I've got one last thing. Just as we, and you, I would assume, expect management failures to be owned up to by the management, do you take full responsibility for supervisory failures at the Fed under your watch?
Yes, I do.
All right. Well, a lack of enforcement on your part does not mean a need for more regulation.
time's
It means
expired.
stronger follow-through by the regulators.
We now recognize Mr. Lynch of Massachusetts for 5 minutes.
Thank the chair. Chair Grunberg, I just want to start off by saying thank you on behalf of the people of Brockton, Massachusetts, for your willingness to come to Brockton and to listen to